While the AFL season is just under 2 months away, exciting times. It felt like it's come around so quickly, but now it's time to get into our 2026 season previews for each club, starting off with the Adelaide Crows. Let's go. The Adelaide Crows were the surprise packet of 2025, finishing on top of the ladder at the end of the home and away season, but their lack of midfield depth and exposure to finals footy is what let them down, meaning they went out in straight sets after getting that home final. Went out in straight sets. And they've brought in just the two players from other clubs. Obviously, won't go over every draft pick, but we'll touch on the trades that they've brought in. So they brought in Callum Chee from the preseason draft. Big topic of discussion, that one. They didn't trade him on deadline day, which means they had to delist him and had to go ahead and pick him up from the preseason draft, which, let's be honest, wasn't ideal for them, but they eventually got the man that they wanted, and the man who he nominated that club as well as a club that he wanted to go to. So that was another one. And another one that kind of came out of nowhere was Finbar from the North Melbourne Football Club. Key forward, is known for his high marking and his ferocious attack on the ball. Not necessarily a big question on him is his goal kicking accuracy, but he's the type of player. We saw him a little bit at North Melbourne. He flies at every ball and just gives everything a good go. Some of the people that would be going out, though, I just readjust the mic as this cord is playing, annoying me a little bit. We'll have to fiddle with that one for the next video. But Chris Burgess, the key forward, was delisted. Matt Crouch retired. I want to just touch on Matt Crouch. Obviously fell out of favour, but let's not underestimate the career Matt Crouch had. And all Australians, as we just pull it up here. Only 30 years old is the question, but what it was in this day and age of football, his lack of adaptability was the one that let him down. Was purely an inside player, wasn't a great kick, and just got the in and under and the handball, which I would argue is something that they would have liked, especially during that final series. But he's just one-way type of running and not being able to adapt to today's play is what was down. But when he played 164 games, he's a 2017 All-Australian, 2017 Adelaide Best and Fairest, and also a showdown medalist of round 22 of the 2016 season. So when he was there, he's a ball magnet. We knew that was one of the highest possession getters in the competition when he was at his best, but just fell out of favour at the Adelaide Crows. Other notable ones was Lockie Murphy, the small forward, was delisted. Harry Schoenberg was delisted, but then further picked up by the West Coast Eagles. Brodie Smith retired. He's another one who was just a real good role player for the Adelaide Crows, as I just pull up here. Real good role player, hard, honest, could lock down, could run off as well. 273 games, and was also a member of the 2014 All-Australian team. So he had a great career for the Adelaide Crows as well. And Kieran Strawn, the ruckman, was also delisted. Now, if we go ahead and have a look at their positions, key defensive stock, I think they're quite solid. There was big questions about going on about were these key defenders going to be able to match it up against the big key forwards and the best key forwards in the competition. But to their credit, they week in, week out showed up and just did their job. Mark Keane being one of them who just did their job. Nick Murray coming back in. Jordan Butts. They just consistently doing the job. And with someone like a Josh Worrell who can play tall, who can play small, was probably the find for their defensive stock there. So Josh Worrell being the fact that he can peel off, be that intercepting defender they like to let loose. Whereas Mark Keane, Nick Murray, Jordan Butts was like your lockdown type of defenders. I really like the look of Hugh Bond as well. Young player coming through, can play a lockdown defender role as well. And I'm a big fan of Wayne Malira off the half-back line. Provides plenty of run. He's a beautiful user of the footy. And Rory Laird has the adaptability to be able to play a half-back and play in the midfield. The reason he got pushed out of the midfield, I think, because they wanted to express some youth and young players in there. And his lack of, he was a ball magnet, but he was in a bit of an accumulator, got a lot of handballs. And that was probably one of the reasons why they moved him to halfback, where he's actually been an All-Australian in the halfback, off the halfback line as well. So definitely not a slouch off that halfback line. Now, midfield is where they have their big questions. I would argue that was I wouldn't argue, it's a fact. The midfield was the reason why they did not go further than straight sets the semi-final. That was the reason. They were too one pace, and without Isaac Rankin, they had no X factor in there. So if we look at it, Chase Jones, some of the like too. Sam Berry, we'll touch on a bit later, more of that in and under type player. Sid Draper will also touch on later. Daniel Curtin found a really good role off that wing. He's an exception there. Came in as an intercepting and key defender. They tried to play him as a forward with the 4 tools down there in Thilthorpe, Walker, Fogarty and Curtin. Didn't quite work, but they knew that he was a beautiful mark, and he's shown his running capabilities, as when he was at Waffle level, he also plays a big body midfielder. So they put him on a wing, and he was absolutely brilliant. One of their better players for the second half of that season, after in a bit of no man's land down there in the forward line, but they found a spot for him on the wing there. Jake Saligo just goes missing every now and then. I really like Jake Saligo, but something that he'll need to work on coming into would be his consistency, because we know shows up in big time games, showdown medalist, but he's one, if he can put this consistency together, could be really good. Jordan Dawson, we know what he's like, but what about Jordan Dawson is he's not your big disposal getter, he's your impact player. So often you'll see him come off the half forward line instead of starting in centre bouncers, because they want to use his distributor of the ball, which I think was a bit down last year, his use of the ball. But in big moments, he was good, really good too, impacting the scoreboard, just leading from the front. And we mentioned Isaac Rankin. James Peatling, I thought, was solid in period for them coming across from the Giants as well, and Isaac coming off that wing. Now, ruck is a bit of an interesting one. So Riley O'Brien getting on with age, really good tap ruckman, but is a bit vulnerable. Not around the ground, but like you can't really push him forward and expect him to kick a goal. We saw a little bit of Lachlan McAndrew towards the back end of the series. Obviously, got rid of Kieran Strachan, so we saw a little bit of Lachlan McAndrew, or did we see Lachlan McAndrew at the Sydney Swans? I just want to, because there was a McAndrew from the Sydney Swans as well, as I just pull this one up. Yes, so we saw a little bit of McAndrew at the Sydney Swans. And he shows a bit of promise, could be a good backup there for Riley O'Brien. Key forwards, they are set for the next 10 years. Riley Thilthorpe is going to be an absolute star. And when the beauty about Riley Thilthorpe, when he's off, you just chuck him in the ruck and he goes in and does his thing in the ruck as well. Great player. Darcy Fogarty has all the potential in the world, can rip a game apart, but it's his consistency that consistently lets him down. But a really good player, really good potential. I just love to see him kick a 40 plus goal season in 2026. Taylor Walker showed that age is not a factor for him, because he is still the best kick inside 450 in the competition. That's why you could push him up the ground and play that high half forward role, but he's also a beautiful, not only is he a beautiful kick inside 450 and field kick, he's a beautiful set shot. So you can push him up the ground, and his work rate hasn't missed a beat either. So Taylor Walker still got around, had a great 2025 season down there as well. Mitchell Marsh, one of their draftees, and obviously Finbar and Marley. Now their forwards, if you remember from last season show, I'm a big fan of Ben Keys' role change as a pressure forward, but not only as a pressure forward, collects plenty of the ball and consistently hits the scoreboard. Big fan of him. Callum Chee will come and play a really pivotal role in there. Such a good role player, whether he's playing as a high half forward or pushing back hard to as a third tall, but I don't think they'll need that with the tall they already have. So you'll probably see him fluctuate between the half forward and the wing, in my opinion. Josh O'Shea, I'm really, really keen to see him get some footy back into him after some injuries have let him down. Alex Neil-Bullen was also solid for them after coming across from Melbourne. If it's your first time watching these sort of season previews, what I like to do a look out for. So a player I want to signify to look out could have a big year, and a player that needs to lift. So my look out for this year, only going into his second season, so it might be a lot to weigh on his shoulders, but he's a high draft pick, very well talked about, and he plays a position of where they lacked, especially in final series. So I think it's time to let him off the leash and let him play centre bounce time. And that's Sid Draper. I thought Sid Draper has all the tools, only managed the 10 matches and averaged 7.2 disposals and kick the 3 goals. I'd like to see him play a bit more centre bounce time just to see what we got here. I know he's only going into his 2nd season. That will develop. But at the end of the day, midfield is what let them down from potentially winning a flag. So I think it's time to let Sid Draper off the leash and play him. I almost want to see him start round 1 centre bounce. Or at least on the bench and rotating into that midfield role. Don't push him to a half forward. I want to see Sid Draper, the midfielder. Now, funny enough, my knees to lift is another midfielder, someone who was probably keeping Sid Draper out of that spot, and that's Sam Berry. Now, only why I want to say needs to lift for Sam Berry is not for his contested play, because that's where he's pivotal and elite at. Applies the pressure, that's why they've got him in there, the big body, lays the tackles, but he needs to be getting more of the pill if he's playing as a starting midfielder. If you're playing as a starting midfielder, averaging 14.7 disposals, it's just not going to cut it at AFL level, and you're leaving the likes of Sid Draper out there. And you're only averaging 14.7 disposals. So in order for Sam Berry to become a contributor to this midfielder in a bigger way, he needs to be averaging 20 plus disposals. He needs to be consistent. Yes, there's going to be games where he has dull games, but 14.7 or even 18-19 would be great. And we know he has the capability of doing it, because his best game, by all means, against West Coast, but round 11, he had 26 disposals going at 81% efficiency. He kicked a goal. He laid the 9 tackles, where we know he's really good, and had 7 scoring moments. So I think where Sam Berry can elevate his game is trying to find that easy ball, kind of like what Matt Rao happened to Matt Rao during his. I am no way in hell comparing Matt Rao and Sam Berry, but I'm comparing them in with Sam Berry, who loves the contested ball and loves to lay the tackles. How about get some outside ball, get some more touches, get the feel of the ball, because 14.7, I'm sorry, it's just not going to cut it at AFL level. Now, where do I think the Adelaide Crows are going to finish on the ladder in 2026? I think they will play finals again, but I've still got big questions around that midfield. But what will hold them up is their key forward line. So I'm going to predict them to finish about 4th, which would get them a second chance, but I've still got big questions around that midfield. Hopefully Isaac Rankin can come back in and do that. They're wanting to play Josh O'Shelley a bit more for the midfield too, but I can't see them playing at the same time. And if you're choosing one, you're choosing Isaac Rankin every day of the week. So I've got the Adelaide Crows finishing in around that 4th mark in 2026. Well, there you have it, guys. There is my 2026 season preview for the Adelaide Crows. Let me know in the comments what I got right, what I got wrong, and let me know your predictions, who you think needs to live, who to look out for, and where you expect the Adelaide Crows to finish on the ladder in 2026. Well, that's going to wrap it up today. Thank you, guys, for watching and listening along. If you enjoyed this video and you're watching it on YouTube, make sure to leave a like and comment on this video. Hit that subscribe button and turn the notification bell so you're notified whenever we upload. But for all your audio listeners, as it's coming up to AFL season, I am going to have it available on audio as well. So if you prefer to listen to it while you're in the car, this is just for you. So if you're listening to this via Spotify and Apple Podcasts, make sure to leave a like and comment on this episode. Hit that follow button, turn the notification bell on so you notify when you upload. Share this off to a mate who follows the Adelaide Crows or who is dying for the footy season to get back. And please, guys, remember to leave a 5-star rating on the show, as that does help push the show out there as we creep towards the AFL season. Thank you guys for listening. Until next time, I'll see you guys then.